Well, hello everyone and welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about how to build a healthy plate. But first, I'd kind of like to go through and just Kelly, would you like to share a win that you've had so far this week?
Say my win for the week is definitely meal prep because it has saved me so many times throughout the week. And I cooked a variety of things, and so it's been easy to go in there for dinner and just I've been making bowls. And so I have all of these different ingredients that I can interchange and exchange and make something different. So I'm not eating the same thing every night. It's something interesting and something that I like. So being prepared definitely helped me this week.
I would agree 100%. I've had that same experience this week, especially with my breakfast, because it's just been kind of crazy this week. And so it's been really nice to just be able to go in there and grab it and heat it up and add some hot sauce to it, of course, and move on. Okay, well, I think we're ready to get started. So I just first I have to apologize for my background. I am not able to change it for some strange reason. So anyway, just bear with me on it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can talk about what does a healthy plate look like. Okay, so we're going to go over how to build a healthy plate because these are things that we do not want you to stress over. Okay, so we are going to talk about today how to build our healthy plate. We're going to talk about macros, how to build your plate, the importance of being prepared, things you need to consider, your meal times, what to avoid, food rules by Michael Pollan, and we're just going to relax and then we're going to hit the questions and answers. So macros are so what we're looking for is a protein of about 20 to 30%, and it tells you there how to figure that. So if you're 170 pounds, you should be getting about 77 grams of protein. Do not stress over this. We need to make sure that we have enough protein, but it does not need to rule our lives. Carbs should be 40 to 50%, and then our fats are going to be 10 to 20%. So for each meal, we're going to try to include all three macros, but we are not going to obsess over the numbers. It will balance out over the days or over the week. So each macro has a job. The carbs provide volume and activates the receptors in your guts that tells you that you're full. So if you eat say you eat something that has a large amount of oil and really doesn't have any other substance to it, so your stretch receptors are not going to feel that. You're going to get the calories, but you're not going to get the full feeling. And the protein is a complex chemical compound, so it takes the body some time to break down the bonds that link the amino acids together, so you feel full longer. And then the fat is difficult for your body to break down, so it provides a sense of satiety and helps slow the digestion of carbohydrates. Kelly, do you have anything you'd like to add?
That on the fat, we are concentrating on good sources of fat.
Yes.
So avocados, nuts, seeds, things of that nature. Not necessarily olive oil or canola oil or, things or fat that you would get from meat because we're obviously plant-based. So we just concentrate on good sources, the healthy sources of fat.
Well, and we need to also keep in mind that the carbs are the body's preferred source of fuel. So that's what gives us our energy. We can't be afraid of carbs because we were brought up afraid of carbs. So we just have to be very careful about that and know that they have a job and that they are important to what we're doing. So when you start to build your plate, if you just think of your plate as half of the plate should be filled with veggies, leafy greens, along with a variety of other vegetables, yellow and orange included. So we're going to aim to include a variety of vegetables in our diet daily and weekly. You will get used to doing this. You will You'll notice people will start looking at your cart when you're in the store, like, what are they doing? We used to buy so many bananas that they always commented on the amount of bananas that we had in our cart. But the other half of our plate should be filled with part protein and part complex carbohydrates. So good sources include tofu, tempeh, and then of course beans. We need to always include our beans. And good sources of complex carbs include whole grains, legumes, beans, sweet potatoes, etc. And something that I've tried out this week is they're called oat groats, and that is the original form of oatmeal or of steel cut oats. And then, as Kelly said earlier, our fats should come from avocado, nuts, and seeds. Fiber is something that not enough people talk about and not enough people concentrate on. So we aim for 30 to 40 grams a day. The upper end of that is going to be better. It's going to improve your gut health. It's going to improve heart health. It will help relieve any constipation that you have. It will assist in late weight loss, and it lowers your risk of diabetes. It helps to lower cholesterol levels, which is a huge deal, and it helps with the prevention of colorectal cancer. So fiber is very important, and we need to make sure I can't remember the percentage. It's either in the 80s or the 90s percentage of Americans that are constipated, and that is just unnecessary. There's no reason for it when we can fix that with our food. So again, our healthy plate has lots of greens, some grains, some protein, some fat, but it's always very colorful because we eat with our eyes first. I love how pretty that plate is. And I love this quote. This quote has helped me through so many things. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So sometimes meal prep is hard, but it's because we make it hard. We have to have an idea of what we're going to eat and make sure we have the basic ingredients on hand. It's funny to me now, after over a decade of doing this, I can pretty much make any recipe in any book that I pick up, in any vegan plant-based book that I pick up. I can make those recipes because I have all that stuff. Um, you need to schedule your training sessions. So your workout sessions, you need to look at your calendar and have an idea of, am I busy if you like to work out in the mornings, you need to look at your schedule and see, when am I not going to be able to do that? And make sure that you're moving your workouts around inside the app, because that will keep you on track more than anything. And I love to have my workout clothes laid out the night before. So when I get up in the morning, that's the first thing I see. So in my mind, I am a person that works out. I don't have to go hunt anything down. Everything is waiting for me and it's ready to go. So some things that you need to consider is, how does your body do better with the food? Do you prefer 3 large meals a day? Do you get hungry between meals? Is there a certain time of the day you get hungry, or that you get bored and you want to go to the kitchen and snack? Do you like to work out on an empty stomach, or do you need a light snack? So I prefer, just for me, and this is what I found, and it's taken me years to kind of figure it out, is I prefer to eat later in the morning. I used to be a big morning person, and now I'm a savory breakfast person. That's normally when I start to get hungry, about 10 o'clock. And when Kelly and I were running, when we lived close to each other, there was no way I could have any food on my stomach before we would start running. And I'm pretty much the same way. I can't, it's not as bad doing a weight workout as it was with running, but running, I just couldn't. I couldn't function if I had eaten something. It would just really make me sick. But I think, Kelly, don't you have to eat before you get started?
First, leave Kittle to, and I just get in there and get it done. I'm fine to do it on an empty stomach. But, if I am a couple of hours after wake up, then I probably need to have a light snack. And there have been times that I felt like, I know this is so ridiculous, but I would feel like, oh, I'm just so hungry. I don't think I can keep going. So I would go to the kitchen and just grab my green drink and, take that out and sip on that a little bit as I'm completing my workout. And that has helped too.
Yeah, I agree. I will do that. Sometimes I will if I have made like a protein drink or my green water or whatever, I like to have that in there with me because that doesn't weigh me down like a meal does. But be prepared with your snacks, and if you can, snack on fruit because we know that there's nothing in there but fruit, and that's a healthy thing that God has made for us. So we know that that's a safe thing. And
And
you,
it's a good source of fiber.
it is a very good, and water. Most fruit is very full, has is made up mainly of water. So we're always trying to get all of our water in. So this has always been very difficult for me at mealtime. I want you to think about, what is your environment like? Is it total chaos? If you have kids, it may be total chaos. So it's an opportunity to try to calm that environment down. Um, don't be rushed. Don't be distracted. Um, and try not to feel stressed when you're doing it. Because eating should be a it should be a great experience. Your food should be good. The mood should be good. If you can at all and if you can control that in any way, it makes a difference in how you enjoy your food and you actually remember what you've eaten. Because I find when it's chaos and I'm just getting it in, sometimes I can't even remember what I had. So things to avoid. You should know you will know your tolerance for caffeine. It's better to only have that in the morning because caffeine stays in your system for so long. And some people, it stays in there for up to 10 to 12 hours. So, you want to be careful and not hinder your sleep because your sleep is very important. It's important for your workouts and it's very important for your weight loss. Your meals are made up of refined carbohydrates. Don't load up on those kinds of food. Don't wait too late to eat because your body, you need to eat at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep to give your body an opportunity to process the food and so your stomach can rest while you rest. We need to avoid an imbalance of the three macros, and we cannot rely on unhealthy substances to fuel our day. So that's refined, that's caffeine, that's any kind of refined sugar. um, I encourage you, if you drink coffee, try to cut back. If you use creamer, make sure you're using plant-based creamer, but try to find something that's not just loaded with sugar. And because it makes a difference. We don't want to drink our calories. And a lot of times, if we're drinking those sodas and those sugar-laden coffees, we're drinking a lot more. We're drinking our calories instead of getting to eat them, and that doesn't satisfy us the way that eating real food will. So I love this. So it's what's wrong with this? We have a large coffee, then we have a bagel with vegan cream cheese and a banana. Then we have another large coffee with some fruit. And then we have a salad with dressing and a granola bar and pasta with tofu and grilled veggies and a vegan cookie at 9 o'clock. Kelly, would you like to share what you think is wrong with this one?
Well, the macros are not balanced for one thing, because in the morning, there's no protein in the beginning of the day. And you're also drinking coffee at 11 o'clock. Now, some people may be able to do that. I am not one of those people. I would literally stay up all night long. And then the vegan cookie at 9 o'clock. Ooh, that's not what your body needs right before you go to bed.
Yeah, and I look at that salad with dressing. We don't know what's on that salad, but when you're making your salad, make sure that it's full of all kinds of vegetables. You want all the colors of the rainbow in there, and be very careful with your dressing to make sure that it's not full of oil. I have found for me, I just make my own dressing or I use balsamic vinegar because it's really hard to find a dressing that doesn't have oil in it.
On that, I'll just say that, I take any dressing recipe and make it and simply leave the oil out, and I don't miss it. I really don't. And so, if you're looking for a healthier version of something, I would suggest that you try that and see how that works for you, because it works great for me. And I think I've had three different types this week because they're just so easy to make up. And I just simply leave the oil out and I don't miss it and it's fine.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Just play with it and find out what you like and have a variety. because sometimes we'll double and triple batches. And then by the time you get to the end of that batch, you're like, I do not want to eat that anymore. Give me 2 more weeks, and then I want to cycle it back in. So greens are king, and there's so many reasons that we need to get in our greens. We need to try to eat greens with each meal. And for me, I told y'all earlier that I really like my savory oats in the morning, and I put almost as much kale in there as I have the um, the oats. But that's something I've worked up to. It's things you just get used to. You find what you like, and then you just slowly incorporate more things into it. But greens are the most dense in terms of nutrients. They are a powerhouse when it comes to nutrition. When it comes to your heart, you need the greens. So don't skimp on them. Find the ones that you like and use them. Your body will appreciate it. And I
Mentioned
love,
something on the I just wanted to say something about the greens and you talking about your savory oats and how you built up to that. I'm not a savory morning person. I'm a sweet morning person. And honestly, I know that, she says she puts as much kale in her oatmeal. It sounds really gross, but when it's cooked in and wilted, whether it be kale or spinach, you do not taste it. Like you do not, I don't even know it's there besides just that I see it. So I would say give it a try.
well, yes. And so on that note, if I don't have kale, I'll use spinach. And my
Right.
grandkids will eat my savory oats, and they never look. I mean, they see the green in there, but they have no idea what it is. They don't care because you don't taste it. So I agree. Give it a try. So when you eat real food, you don't need rules, which is not something that we're taught. So we eat food, um, not edible, highly processed food-like substances. There is a reason that there are food scientists, and they are there to develop food that makes us want to eat more. So we have to know in our mind that they don't have necessarily our best interest at heart. And I love don't eat anything your great grandmother wouldn't recognize as food. Avoid products that contain more than 5 ingredients. You have to be a label reader. And if you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't eat it. Avoid products that contain ingredients. Hang on, that contain ingredients that a third grader cannot pronounce. Shop the outside of the supermarket, the outside aisle. Stay out of the middle because that's where all of the super processed food is. Eat only foods that will eventually rot. You don't want to eat food that has an expiration date on it because that means it's full of things that keep it from rotting. If it came from a plant, eat it. If it was made in a plant, don't. It's not food if it arrived through the window of your car, and eat your colors. I think that that's very important that everything be very colorful because then you know you're eating the rainbow. And I love my little puppy here. Changing your body and health takes time. So stay consistent and be patient and just keep repeating what you're doing. You're learning how to build your plate. You're learning that your body needs the exercise. So we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves that way. We didn't get this way overnight, and we're not going to undo what we've done overnight. So we need to be kind, and we need to be focused, and we need to be patient. Okay, everyone, I hope that you learned something from how to build your healthy plate. As always, just let us know if y'all have any questions or if y'all have any ideas of future coaching calls that y'all would like to, topics y'all would like for us to cover. And we hope everyone has a successful week.